You showed up for a reason. Even if you deny it now, you came here searching for something heavier than routine, right? You're craving a hit of truth they never dared to speak. Huh? 8 seconds in and I already know you're different today? You clicked because some part of you refuses to shrink anymore. And trust me, this is exactly where that new fire begins. There's a storm building behind your quiet expression. Even if you hide it well, you feel that pressure rising every time they underestimate you again. You've carried weight in silence and turned it into sharpened instinct. Huh? And that's why I'm talking directly to you right now. Because this video isn't for the faint or the passive today. It's for the ones ready to see what they truly are becoming. Before we dive into the chaos ahead, I need to honor something important now. You, the one watching this all the way through with intention, right? You're not just a viewer, you're part of this momentum today. Drop a comment and claim the mindset you're stepping into now. Stay until the final word, because the shift hits hard ahead. And once you hear it, there's no going back from this. Look at yourself. Really look. Do you see the cracks? The places they laughed at? The corners where they shoved you aside? That's where the fire lives. Every smirk they threw, every whisper behind your back, it's fuel. You were a ghost in their eyes. Invisible, forgettable, disposable. But ghosts see everything. They watch, they learn, they wait. Do you feel that hunger crawling up your spine? That gnawing in your gut that no one will touch? That's the truth speaking. They told you to play nice, obey, bend, fit. But look at where that got you. Nothing. Ashes. A collection of almosts and not quites. You've been training in silence, perfecting moves they never even suspected. You've been waiting for the moment they can't catch you, because they'll never catch you. They think they know you. They think they have you measured. But the truth is deliciously twisted. Every expectation they pinned on you is a lie, a trap, and you're dancing through it uninvited, smiling at the chaos they'll never survive. Every mask you wear, every laugh you fake, every step you pretend to stumble, it's a chess move. And they are pieces, blind and fragile. Do you hear the whispers of the world around you? The ones that tried to crush you with small cruelty, polite rejection, invisible rules. They echo in your mind now, like a symphony of weakness you can't ignore. But weakness is funny. It's the soil where monsters grow. And look at you now. You're no longer scared. You're listening, you're learning, you're remembering. The mirror doesn't lie, not anymore. And yet what it shows isn't comforting, not beauty, not strength. Something darker, something alive, something tactical. You see the moves before they are made. You feel the intentions before they surface. That shadow in the mirror isn't you. It's the part they'll never understand. The part they will fear when it finally steps out from hiding. And here's the exquisite part. The world expects you to break. They've built their little cages, their polite punishments, their careful dismissals. But you smile in the dark. You wait. You study. You strike in ways they won't even recognize until it's too late. They call it insanity. I call it clarity, precision, control. And oh, it's just beginning. You feel it waking again, that quiet pull beneath your ribs, rising like a storm pretending to sleep. They told you to calm down, stay polite, stay small. But hunger doesn't shrink for anyone. It waits, curling behind your thoughts, whispering truth sharper than any warning. They think it's weakness. They think it's instability. But you know better. Hunger is the mind sharpening its teeth. There's a moment when the world stops pretending, when the masks fall, when you see how little they believed in you. That moment burns. It twists. It carves new scars beneath the old ones. You carry in silence. But scars are strange teachers. They don't fade. They don't forgive. They remind you of everything they tried to take. And that reminder, that sting, it becomes fuel. People fear what they cannot predict. They fear anyone who sees too much, moves too fast, thinks too sharply. That's why they tried to dull you. They fed you caution like medicine, trained you to wait your turn. But you were never built for lines. You were built for corners, shadows, angles. They never learned to navigate. Hunger taught you to survive in places they never even looked. You know what they fear the most? Not your strength, not your silence. It's the moment you stop asking for permission. That shift in your eyes, that calm breathing before you decide to change the entire direction of your life in a single step. They can sense it. They can smell it. A rising pressure they can't explain. Something in you growing sharper than their comfort can handle. Hunger doesn't ask questions. It doesn't negotiate. It pushes. It claws. It reminds you of the life you refuse to settle for. Every overlooked effort, every dismissed dream, every chance they said you didn't deserve. They stacked their doubts on your shoulders, but they never realized weight builds strength, and strength builds intention. And intention builds a new kind of quiet danger. Let them whisper. Let them guess. Let them think you're still where they left you. Hunger thrives in silence. It grows behind your calm expression, behind your steady steps, behind every polite nod hiding sharpened ambition. They thought they buried you beneath expectations, but expectations crumble fast. And when they do, the hunger they tried to tame becomes the force they never prepared for. They watch you walk, and they still don't understand what moves beneath your calm skin. They see a quiet face, steady breathing, no threat at all. That's the beauty of it. The strongest minds don't roar, they whisper, they calculate. They study every shift around them with eyes that never blink too long. You've learned the art of patience, the art of letting them believe they're ahead while you're already 3 steps beyond their sight. A predator isn't born loud, it's born aware. It listens to the pauses in conversations, the tremors in voices, the intentions hiding in small gestures. You've grown into that awareness. You feel patterns others ignore. You sense motives hidden behind smiles that stretch too wide. Every detail becomes a clue. Every moment becomes a map. You move through the world like you're reading a secret language written beneath their breathing. People underestimate what slow anger creates. They confuse silence with softness. They think restraint means weakness. But you know, restraint is a weapon. A quiet blade, a delayed strike. The kind that leaves them wondering when the tables turned. You don't rush. You don't grasp. You wait. Because waiting is precision. And precision wins battles long before they even notice a war has begun. Your mind has been shaped by moments they never saw. Nights where you questioned everything. Days where you carried burdens heavier than their judgments. That weight taught you balance. It taught you steadiness. It taught you to read the world without flinching. Now you move with a clarity they could never handle. You don't gamble. You calculate. You don't hope. You plan. You don't chase. You position. What they fear most isn't your strength. It's what they can't read. Your calm expression hiding storms they'll never control. Your quiet stare, cutting deeper than any raised voice. Your steady composure, turning everything they assumed into dust. You've mastered the art of being unnoticed until the moment you choose not to be. That choice, that shift, that single step forward is enough to change everything. A predator isn't defined by aggression. It's defined by vision, by pattern, by patience. And you, after everything they put you through, have learned to see truths they avoid. You move through shadows without losing yourself. You make decisions without trembling. You stand without announcing it. And when the moment finally comes, when you act with quiet precision, the world around you realizes it misread you completely. They trust your smile far more than they should. It's amusing how a calm face disarms the very people who once pushed you aside. They never notice the sharpness behind your quiet tone or the way your eyes study every corner while theirs drift. You learned long ago that direct force is clumsy. Subtlety is cleaner, softer, deadlier. They walk into your silence thinking it's safety, not seeing the strategy running beneath it. You've mastered the art of letting them speak first, letting them reveal their fears, their doubts, their careless hints of envy. People uncover themselves when they think you're nothing to worry about. They lower their guard. They expose their weak spots. And you, with that steady mind sharpened by years of being underestimated, turn every detail into leverage. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to strike fast. You just watch and wait. Their expectations become your camouflage. Their assumptions become your shield. They think you're predictable, harmless, still carrying the same uncertainty they once used against you. But uncertainty was temporary. What replaced it is something far quieter and far more dangerous. You've learned how to appear smaller than you are, how to let them believe they have the upper hand. It's a trick built from patience, shaped by scars they never saw, strengthened by moments where you chose silence instead of collapse. Poison doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It doesn't announce itself with dramatic warning. It moves gently, slowly, invisibly. That's you now. A presence they misread at every turn. A calm breath, masking intention. A steady stare covering a storm of strategies. You let them step closer. You let them think they're leading. And when the moment arrives, when their certainty blinds them, you shift the entire game with a single choice that feels effortless. People never suspect the quiet one, never suspect the observer, never suspect the mind that refuses to crumble even when cornered. They don't realize how much strength lives in someone who survived being overlooked. You carry their doubts like fuel. You carry their dismissals like maps. You carry every moment they tried to shrink you as proof that they never understood what you were becoming. And now, every step you take tightens the thread around their assumptions. Let them keep trusting the surface. Let them keep staring at your calm while missing the razor behind it. There's a strange satisfaction in watching them underestimate the very force they created. You don't need chaos to shake their confidence. You don't need noise to shift the balance. All you need is timing. All you need is awareness. All you need is the patience to let them walk right into the consequences of misreading you. There's a thin line inside your mind, a line they never noticed because they were too busy judging your silence to see what lived beneath it. That line bends, twists, trembles. It's the point where logic meets instinct, where control meets a rising force that refuses to be dismissed again. They call it strange. They call it reckless. But to you, it feels like clarity sharpening itself against the world's dull expectations. You've learned that people fear anything that doesn't follow their neat little paths. They panic when you stop playing the roles they wrote for you. They want you predictable, contained, safe for their comfort. But you've stepped past that now. You've reached the place where your thoughts move faster than their warnings, where your courage grows louder than their doubts, where your vision bends into shapes they can't decode. That's where the edge lives, and that's where you're standing. The edge isn't chaos for the sake of chaos. It's liberation. It's the moment you stop shrinking to fit into their small expectations. The moment you stop apologizing for thinking differently. The moment you realize you can change everything with a single shift in mindset. They call it madness because they can't imitate it. They can't follow it. They can't control it. And nothing terrifies them more than someone who's no longer shaped by their limits. You've felt that pressure in your chest, that rising pulse when the world tries to cage you with rules that don't match your nature. You've felt the tension of holding back ideas that could rewrite every plan they've made. That tension becomes heat. That heat becomes focus. And that focus, it sharpens you into something they never prepared for. Something not wild, but awakened. Something not reckless, but aware. Something they cannot predict, even when they're watching closely. Let them call you unpredictable. Let them whisper. Let them worry about the way your eyes see through the surface of their intentions. Every time they question you, you grow clearer. Every time they doubt you, you grow colder. Every time they try to steer you back into their comfort, you step further toward that edge where your mind becomes its truest version. They don't understand that growth sometimes looks like a smile they can't read, or a silence they can't interpret. Because this edge you've reached isn't a fall, it's a rise, a shift, a revelation of everything they misjudged. Your thoughts move like sparks now, sharp, quick, relentless. You sense openings before they exist. You see paths before they appear. And once you learn to trust that instinct, once you realize that your mind was never broken, just uncontained, the entire game changes. For them, for you, for everything. You made it to the end. And that already says everything now. You didn't just watch, you endured every sharp truth today. You followed the tension, the rise, and the shift with focus. Huh? That tells me you're not the same person who clicked earlier. You're sharper, steadier, and heavier with purpose than before now. And trust me, most people never reach this point at all. Your mind felt every line because it was ready today. You recognized pieces of yourself in every twist and pause. Huh? You saw the parts they tried to dim waking again inside you. That's not chaos. It's growth written in your own language now. Carry that energy into your next move without shrinking again. Let this be the moment you finally step forward with intent. Before you go, I want one thing from you today. Drop a comment telling me which line struck hardest. Share the part that cracked something open inside your thinking now. Your words help build this space stronger with every viewer joining. And if this hit you in the right place, stay connected, because what comes next is heavier, sharper, and made for minds like yours. Well. You think nobody noticed you. The way you kept doing right when nobody clapped. The way you stayed solid while everyone else folded. Oh, you really thought goodness goes unseen. Nah, not this time. Because guess what? Someone's been watching your good deeds, every act, every silent win, every moment you chose light over noise. Yeah, I know it's crazy, right? All those times you thought nobody cared. Turns out the silence wasn't empty. It was recording you. Every bit of kindness, every ounce of patience, every time you smiled through pain. Someone saw that. And tonight, they've revealed themselves. So buckle in, fam. This one ain't just another speech. It's a mirror turned toward your soul. It's a wake-up call for the warriors who stayed kind in chaos. You know who you are, the ones who kept it real when the world went cold. Respect where it's due, because this story, your story, deserves to be heard. Listen, I need you to watch till the end, because what's coming next, it's not just words. It's a revelation. It's a reminder that your light was never wasted. And hey, if you feel this one hit deep, drop a comment below. Let the world know that quiet goodness still exists. That strength can be soft and still undefeated. This one's for you, the unseen heroes, the silent builders, the ones who never needed witnesses to do what's right. You're not forgotten, you're recognized. The quiet ones, they see everything. That's the part no one ever tells you. You think you've been walking through this world unseen, invisible, forgotten, dismissed by the noise. But oh, how wrong you were. Every move, every word, every good deed you thought slipped away like smoke. It was noted, recorded in silence. There's someone, something watching, not to punish, not to mock, but to measure, to test the shape of your heart when no one's clapping, when no one's looking, when you do good for the sake of good, not applause. See, that's the thing about light. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. It just exists, stubbornly, in rooms that have forgotten what warmth feels like. And you've been that light for far too long. They ignored it, didn't they? They laughed when you helped, scoffed when you forgave, said you were weak for showing compassion in a world built on claws and teeth. Oh wow, they didn't understand that mercy is not weakness. It's power restrained. Fire in a bottle. But here's the twist. Someone understood. Someone's been watching your quiet wars, your silent sacrifices. Not the crowd, not your peers, but the observer. The one who sees past the mask, past the noise, past the smile you wear when your heart's bleeding. Yeah, they saw that. The way you gave when you had little. The way you stood your ground when deceit tried to corner you. The way you stayed kind when cruelty was the easy path. And now they've revealed themselves. Out of nowhere, no warning. Just that sudden shift in the air, that chill crawling up your neck like a whisper saying, "We've been here all along." And you freeze. Not out of fear, but realization. Because deep down, you knew. You always felt eyes on you in the quiet moments, when you were about to give up, but didn't. When you swallowed your pride, and chose patience instead of rage. You see, this world, it's a mirror maze. Every reflection shows you a version of yourself, and someone's been studying those reflections with surgical precision. They've seen the strength you hide behind your silence, the endurance wrapped in your stillness. They know the weight of every choice you made when no one cared to notice. Nah, this isn't about exposure. It's about recognition. The silent acknowledgement that your effort wasn't wasted. Those unseen eyes caught every flicker of light you poured into this dim world. And isn't it strange? The ones who brag about doing good crave witnesses, yet their deeds evaporate into air. But the ones who act quietly, their echoes last forever. You thought no one saw your restraint when they provoked you. You thought no one saw you rebuilding what others broke. You thought your patience was just swallowed by time. But no. Someone was watching the entire time with unwavering focus, tracking every rise, every fall, every recovery. And now they're stepping forward, not to reward, not to congratulate, but to reveal what's next. Because the watcher doesn't just see your good deeds. They test what you'll do once you realize you've been seen. They don't just watch to witness, they watch to weigh. So now you know. Eyes never blink. The question burns under your skin like a live wire. What now? Will you still be good when you realize you're being measured by unseen eyes? Or will your kindness crumble under the pressure of being observed? It's easy to act noble in the shadows, but when the spotlight turns, oh, that's when masks start slipping. That's when intentions bleed through the cracks. You see, being watched changes people. Some straighten up, desperate to look righteous. Others fall apart, crushed by the weight of their own pretense. The weak crumble under perception, while the strong, the truly strong, remain the same, no matter who's watching. That's the difference between doing good for the world and doing good because it's right. Yeah. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? The thought that every moment, every decision is seen, remembered, accounted for. It makes your chest tighten, makes you question whether your goodness was ever genuine or just performance. And that's exactly the point. The watcher isn't here to judge you. They're here to expose you, to bring your truth into the light, where there's nowhere to hide. Oh wow. That realization stings, doesn't it? You start replaying moments in your head. Every time you held your tongue instead of snapping back. Every time you helped someone without expecting a thing in return. And now you wonder, did I do it from purity or for praise? The watcher doesn't answer. They just wait. Because the moment you ask yourself that question, the test has already begun. Nah, this isn't punishment. It's purification. The fire that burns off the rust from your soul, leaving only what's real. That's what being seen does. It separates performance from purpose. It strips you down to your core and demands honesty without words. And here's the cruel beauty of it all. The watcher never interferes. They don't whisper directions. They don't send signs wrapped in clarity. They just observe, quietly, patiently, as your choices reveal the truth you try so hard to hide. You may think silence means indifference, but silence, oh, silence is the loudest measure of all. Every time you choose integrity over impulse, they mark it. Every time you resist bitterness, they note it. And every time you betray your own principles, they don't scold, they record. Because this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about whether your heart still fights for goodness when no one cheers for it. But here's where the tension sharpens. Now that you know they're watching, your next move matters more than ever. Will you start performing goodness just to impress? Or will you rise above that temptation and prove that your morals aren't for sale, not even under surveillance? Think about it. Real virtue doesn't change under pressure. It reveals itself through it. You're not being tested to fail. You're being tested to evolve, to rise into a version of yourself that no longer fears the eyes that watch because you've made peace with your own reflection. Because when you act with pure intent, being seen no longer threatens you. It validates you. The watcher's gaze becomes a mirror, not a trap. And in that mirror, you start to recognize what you were meant to become all along, unshakable. You were never being watched from above. You were being watched from within. That's the twist that makes your stomach drop, isn't it? The realization that the watcher wasn't some shadow in the corner, but the reflection staring back at you every time you looked away too fast. Oh wow. It hits differently when you understand that the eyes tracking every move were your own, the part of you that refuses to lie, refuses to forget. The quiet conscience that doesn't need an audience to know when you've done right or when you've gone too far. See, you can run from people. You can outsmart opinions. You can wear 100 masks until no one recognizes who you used to be. But nah, you can't escape yourself. That's the one witness you can't silence. Every choice you make, every kindness, every betrayal, carves itself into the fabric of your own memory. You think time will erase it, but time doesn't forgive. It just waits. And when the noise fades, and the crowd's gone home, the mirror starts whispering again. That's when it gets real. When you're alone with your thoughts, and your actions echo back at you in the dark, you start to realize that your soul has been keeping score this entire time. Not for reward, not for punishment, but for truth. The truth of who you are when no one's watching. The truth of whether your goodness survives when recognition dies. Yeah, that's what they never teach you, that self-awareness is the sharpest blade you'll ever face. It doesn't cut skin, it cuts the ego. It slices away excuses and exposes what's beneath. You can't argue with it, can't bargain with it. It's not cruel, it's honest. And honesty hurts more than any wound. But pain, pain is the currency of growth. Every sting, every regret, every sleepless night staring at the ceiling, it all builds the one thing this world can't fake: integrity. The watcher within doesn't want perfection. It takes effort. It wants you to stand up after falling 1,000 times and say, I'm not done yet. That's the fight that defines you, because your inner watcher sees your struggles long before the world ever applauds your success. It sees when you bite your tongue instead of striking back. It sees when you take responsibility instead of shifting blame. It sees when you refuse to become what hurt you. And here's the paradox. When you finally accept that you're being watched by your own conscience, something strange happens. You stop fearing exposure. You stop living for applause. You start moving with purpose, not pride. That's when freedom begins. Not when no one sees you, but when you finally see yourself clearly. But don't mistake that clarity for comfort. Because once you start seeing yourself really seeing, you can't unsee what's broken. You can't pretend anymore. You can't lie to yourself without feeling the sting of hypocrisy crawling through your chest. And that's when the watcher stops being a mirror and becomes a judge. It doesn't speak, but its silence says everything. Every time you try to justify what you know is wrong, that silence grows louder. Every time you act against your own principles, it burns deeper. You realize then there's no running from reflection. You either confront it or it consumes you. When the mirror stops reflecting you, that's when you know something's broken inside. It doesn't happen all at once. No sudden crash. No thunder in the sky. Just quiet disconnection. One day, you look at yourself, and nothing looks back. Oh wow, that's the moment everything shifts. The watcher within, the conscience that once guided you, warned you, protected you, starts to go silent. Not because it's gone, but because it's tiring. Tired of being ignored, tired of shouting over the noise of your excuses. You think silence means peace. Nah, silence means distance. It's the pause before collapse. The space where your better self begins to fade, and the mask you wear every day starts to replace what's real. You keep telling yourself you're fine, that you're just adapting, surviving. But deep down, you know you've crossed a line somewhere. Maybe it was small. Maybe it was just one lie, one shortcut, one act of selfishness you swore was harmless. But the watcher saw it. It didn't scream. It just stepped back. That's the cruel thing about conscience. It doesn't fight to stay. It waits for you to remember. It waits for you to care. And when you stop caring, oh, that's when the decay begins. The mirror fogs. The eyes you once trusted don't recognize the person they're attached to anymore. You start moving like a stranger in your own life. The laughter feels empty. The victories taste stale. And every quiet night feels heavier than the last. You tell yourself it's the world's fault, that people changed, that loyalty died, that kindness doesn't work anymore. But that's not the truth, is it? The truth is simpler, sharper. The world didn't change. You did. Somewhere along the line, you stopped living by your inner code and started bending it for comfort. You traded principles for convenience, patience for impulse, purpose for survival. Yet it hurts to admit. But that pain, that's your reflection trying to reach you again. It's not gone. It's warning you. It's saying, you're slipping, and if you keep going, there won't be a way back. Because when your reflection stops believing in you, it doesn't vanish. It waits at the edge of who you used to be, watching, hoping you'll wake up before you're too far gone. You know that feeling? The one that creeps in when you're alone and everything's quiet. That uneasy tightness in your chest. That whisper that says this isn't who you're meant to be. That's not guilt. That's recognition. It's the moment before awakening. The reminder that there's still something inside you worth saving. But here's the real danger. If you ignore that voice long enough, it learns to stop speaking. And once it does, you'll keep moving, smiling, succeeding even. But it'll all feel hollow, because no amount of victory can fill the silence of a conscience that's turned its back. You want to know what true emptiness feels like? It's not loneliness. It's standing in front of a mirror and realizing it doesn't reflect your truth anymore. It just shows your performance. And that's when you realize the watcher hasn't abandoned you. You've abandoned yourself. But here's the thing. Nothing's lost forever. The reflection may have turned away, but it's still waiting for a single act, one moment, one choice that says, I remember who I am. That's how you bring it back. That's how you start again. And there it is. The truth you never saw coming. All this time you thought no one cared. Oh wow, they were watching quietly, counting every act that came from your heart. Every time you stayed kind when it was easier to break. Every time you choose patience over pride, someone saw it all. Yeah, that's wild, right? The world moves fast, forgets fast, but not them. The watcher doesn't forget good things. It remembers, it records, and one day it reveals. So here's the question. Now that you know they've been watching, will you still do good when no one claps, when no one says your name? Because that's the real power. That's what separates the loud from the legendary. Nah, this ain't about attention. It's about the truth. About doing right even when the lights are off. About being that unshakable force the darkness can't twist. And before you go, hey, salute to you, the ones who watched till the end, the ones who felt this in their chest. You're not background characters, you're the main ones. The reason messages like this even exist. So drop your thoughts below. Let's hear from the real ones. The ones who still believe in quiet goodness. The ones who move with purpose, even when unseen. Because listen, your deeds were never wasted. They were witnessed. They were building something bigger, deeper, stronger inside you.